I want to see your emojis as we make welcome to take us through exports to the UK without owning a factory, how you can do it, how you can make it happen, the opportunities, the pitfall. It's a thorough, detailed session. And of course, afterwards, we would have the opportunity to ask questions. There'll be a quick Q&A session where we would hear your voice. Some of us can drop. If you have questions as she's going through the session, please note them down. And after the session, she would answer the questions. I'm also available to answer questions that are fielded to me as well. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome. This is where we do the standing ovation. Let's make welcome Mrs. Adora Onyeke. Adora, over to you.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Good day to you if you're joining me from another time zone. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome.
You're welcome.
uh, okay, so give me a minute.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you once again for being here. Thank you, Dr. Isaac, for your time, for giving me access to your platform. Your people are super warm, very cautious, and it shows that there is a culture of value that you have over time built with your community. Prior to this training, a lot of them have been reaching out, asking questions, super excited about getting started. And I see the intentionality, I see the zeal, I see the excitement and enthusiasm they all have about learning. And I'm super glad to be a part of this community right now, because one thing about me is once I have a relationship with you, I try to make it lifelong. So we don't bam like this now. Okay. Who is Adora? Adora is a marketing strategist, a business consultant, a food exporter, an export consultant, and at the center of it all, a daughter of Zion. And God is the center of it all for me, right? So we will be rushing through because we've spent quite a while on introductions and waiting for everyone. So we would proceed.
Yeah, thank you very much. We can proceed now. Guys, again, if you have questions, please note them down. We will not take questions while Adora is going through the session because it's going to be a high-powered, high-value session. But please take your questions down so that you don't forget them. You also feel free to drop some of them in the comment section. We will try to note them down, and immediately after Adora's presentation, then we will take your questions one after the other. We will stop though at exactly on the top of the hour, at 9 exactly, or even before then. So if you have your questions, please put them down so that we can do it once and for all. Okay, over to you, Adora.
Yes, so we trust that with the help of the Holy Spirit, we'll be able to gain ground. I'll be able to share practical experiences as well as theory, and also, personal experiences, business experiences that may help some of you as time goes on. We won't be doing everything theory. There would be mix of, questions like Isaac has said, as well as sharing my own unique strategic, unique experiences, what has worked for me, things I have passed through, so that you don't also fall into the same pitfalls I experienced, right? So let us go right in. What is exporting? export in international trade is when goods produced in one country are sold into another country. And export is not just about goods alone, it can also be services as well. So the seller of such goods is an exporter, while the buyer is an importer. So if you're in Nigeria, you're sending out goods to the UK, to the US, you are an exporter, while the person buying from you is an importer. So it's two ways. Mostly people who do imports would also be doing exports because they go hand in hand. Quickly, what are the benefits of exports? One of the benefits is that you stand to gain, you learn the global standards for packaging your products, you learn the global standards for excellence, you learn all the standardization processes that you need to have to be able to let your products or your services play on the global stage. And it now gives, what this gives is that it makes you able to compete, and even it places you on a higher pedestal compared to those competitors who are playing on the local level. So exporting, when you are looking at exporting, there is a unique way of doing things and finesse that it puts into your entire business model. And it's over time, it reflects. People will come to you and they will see that this person's business is really, really different. Another one is expanded reach and visibility. You have you have you have a larger playing field. You have access to more people that are not just in your home country, but people in other locations. They are able to see what you do, see the value in your products, and even share. By the time a lot of people, someone in diaspora, someone in the UK or someone in America is taking your products, using your products, recommending it to friends and families or other business owners, you know what that does for you over time is increased visibility, which leads to the next one, that is increased sales. You can't compare someone who is selling to people in just Nigeria alone, or even a few states in Nigeria, to someone who now has people buying in other locations. Of course, your sales will increase, which leads to more profit for you, right? So profit in foreign currency comes in over time. When you are exporting, you begin to think outside the Naira alone. You start thinking in other currencies. You think in GBP, you think in USD, you think in Canadian dollars. And with time, you even start opening accounts in these other denominations. Why? Because you want to make payments easier for people buying in those locations, right? Which overall, at the end of the day, everything all boils down to expansion. If you're doing an import-export business, at the end of the day, your business will expand, which is a whole lot of benefits beyond what words can say, right? What are the types of exports? We have visible exports or products exports. These are things that you can feel, touch, and taste. And then the invisible exports or service exports. So I'm very happy when I saw some people who talk about they are branding experts, they are into marketing, they are into graphics design and stuff like that. So I don't want people listening to start limiting themselves or start feeling discouraged that it looks like this is for people that are selling food stuff alone, or people who are into agro products, or people who are into fashion items or textiles. You understand, tangible things. You can export non-tangible things as well, invisible thing. Your skill, your knowledge can also be exported. Now, of course, I already explained this. I'm trying to rush through my slides so that when we get to the meatier parts, the parts that everyone is looking forward to, we can dive in real quickly. So pardon me if I sound very, very fast, or I'll be taking this this introduction part very fast. Exports of tangible products, they can be seen, felt. I have said this already. Invisible, intangible products cannot be seen or felt. This is transfer of skills, knowledge, expertise. So our actors, they are exporting their skill. Football, coaching, consulting. People in Nigeria actually coach and consult people in diaspora. There are people in Nigeria who teach people outside Nigeria a lot of things and provide service on a very large scale and also on, small scale as well. You see people who are on freelance platforms like Upwork, like Fiverr, teaching, some of them offering services as virtual assistants, as writers, as transcriptors, so many things that you can do. Of course, you are earning in dollars because a lot of them get paid per hour and they are earning outside the normal currency of the place they live in, which means that basically they're also exporting their skills and their knowledge, right? So services that can be exported, teaching or coaching on business, language, immigration, marriage, etc. Logistics or cargo service, these are opportunities in exporting when it comes to service part. Processing for export, you can process raw materials, you can process agro products, you can process fabrics, a lot of things that you can process in Nigeria. Nigeria is super, super blessed with a lot of natural resources, natural products that you can turn into finished products or semi-finished products for export. We have printing and design, we have our financial services, we have music and movies, then our tech skills that I had explained previously. What are we've talked about the service part. So what about the physical part? What are the things that are actual products that you can touch, feel, and taste that you can export? So we have our food, beverages, and tobacco products. We have pharmaceuticals, a lot of um a lot of our raw herbs in Nigeria are being harvested, washed, processed, and sent abroad to be turned into capsules, to be turned into supplements. Do you know that? Do you know that for something as simple as bitter cola, have you noticed that bitter cola is becoming increasingly expensive in Nigeria? Like one bitter cola, they can sell it for you like 200 Naira. That's because over time, people have seen the immense health benefits of bitter cola, cola nuts, our normal herbs that we look at, guava leaves, um this lemongrass tea, hibiscus leaf, so many things. Even some the backs, like the back of some trees, are actually very, very important. They are used in pharmaceuticals. So a lot of things that we overlook, even some things that we call weeds, all these crops or grasses that just grow by the roadside, that grow along the road, or if you are in some kind of areas that are just developing sites or interior villages, there are some herbs that you would look at. If you are like some of us that grew up in the local area and you grow with grandmas, they will tell you maybe sometimes when you have stomach pain or you have cough and catarrh, and they will tell you, go and pluck this one, go and pluck this one. We were just overlooking these things. We didn't know that these herbs have immense benefits to the health that if looked into properly. So over time, our people have been researched, they've seen the benefits and all. But while those of us in Nigeria, some of our pharmaceuticals are forward thinking, are already using this, there is usually a lot of backlash with, is it standardized enough? Is it good enough? Is it this? Is it that? People in diaspora, companies and industries in diaspora that have done the research, they have the backing and everything. They are looking at us sleeping on these opportunities and sending procurement companies to procure these things in bulk, send it out to them, and they do the rest over there. Before you know it, we are getting the capsules imported and we are buying it at exorbitant rates, not knowing that is our normal herbs that we are looking at, our normal grasses that we overlook. I've seen someone online, I think in the US, selling guava leaf teas. It's just crushed guava leaf. Like imagine that it doesn't even need so much, you don't need so much machinery for that kind of thing. Look at Zobo. For you to make Zobo, there is not a lot of processing that has to be done for Zobo leaf, lemongrass tea, crushed crushed lemongrass tea, crushed soursop leaves. That one was, it was really, really, I don't know. I had mixed emotions. Sometimes when I see some of these products on Amazon or some international websites, I feel excited, and at the next minute, I kind of feel sad that we are not really exploring all the possibilities with these products, and other people that have seen the immense benefits are now reaping more, they are reaping more profit from these things that we are growing here, right? So I want you to take it out of your mind that you have to have one kind of gengen factory. You have to have so much when it comes to money and capital for labor, you know, hire people, set up factory, buy different machinery, import machinery. No, you don't have to do all that. While we advocate for excellence, you can start at the level you are and then grow upwards, upskill, add more value, and get all these things done over time. I will be, as time goes on, I will be sharing some of the ways you can get some certifications, not just NAFDAC alone, without spending so much and without having fully fitted factories. So same goes to textiles, apparels, leather products. Our leather is now, like, if you go to Kano, you don't want to, you don't even, you'd be amazed at the things that are going on when it comes to leather tanneries in Kano there. You go to Dawano market in Kano and you see how ginger is scarce in Nigeria now because of exports, like export demands a lot of products over time, that if we are not intentional about farming them, processing them in-house domestically, we would be at a loss over time. So I'm usually caught in a dilemma of, okay, while talking about the immense benefits of exports, what about the repercussions for our economy over time? So what I do now is, while I'm talking about the benefits of exports, I also look at solutions to ensure sustainability over time, right? Pulp and paper products from a lot of our trees that are used for paper, even recyclable products, chemicals, petrochemicals, plastic products, machinery and equipment. You would be shocked that we have fabricators in Nigeria who are very, very good, very, very good. So much so that because of the quality of our raw materials, our stainless steels and all, take for example, some of these are shelves for displaying. When you buy the ones done in China that you have to just couple it and you put some heavy goods on it, it can't take so much compared to the ones that our local fabricators do. Those ones last like for a lifetime. So it's just us not seeing the, I don't know if it's not seeing the potentials or not appreciating what we have in-house that makes us feel we have to import everything. There are a lot of machines now that I have a dear friend of mine who does kuli in large batches. And she told me, pump and plain, that the machine she imported for extracting oil from the kuli doesn't function as much as the one they did for her in Nigeria here. She produces her products in a factory in Oyo State, and the quality she does, she exports, she has distributors all over Nigeria. She sends to the UK, she sends to the US, she sends to Canada, and her factory is sitting on not more than a plot of land. The fabrication of items she did, if she was getting those kind of machines from China or from Germany, you know, she would be spending a lot. She tried it eventually. She tried, you know, sometimes you want to look like you are doing everything the proper way because of how Nigerians tend to look down on locally fabricated material. At the end of the day, after using and comparing, the ones that were done here are stronger. So please, there are a lot of things you can look into. I'm saying this so that if you come from probably a family where your parents do the local grinding machines, or they have access to, you come from a family of blacksmiths or goldsmiths and stuff like that, you have access to raw materials for this thing, or you can train youths in your community, you can empower youths in your community. There is opportunity in these things. There is, even within Nigeria alone, there are factories, there are people who produce, who are food manufacturers that need a lot of fabricated products. One of my Instagram buddies, she has a palm oil brand, right? She has also tried the same thing. Right now, she's working with about, I don't know if some of you follow Glit Farm online. She's talking about making larger machines for pressing palm oil out of the fruit. They need machines for the is it the shelling, they call it debunching. You know, when you cut palm nuts from the tree, they would usually cover it for a few days, like 2-3 days, and then when it's now softer, you now have to pick it out from the thorns. Machines can do this thing, but imported machines, can it do it well? No, because these people are not producing oil palm to be able to know that this is the specification of machine needed to do this thing. Most times we import these machines and we try to make slight alterations to it. So if you have access or you know people in that line, this is just a little education, more intentionality, and they would be making it more than they currently are, even for our domestic market. Like, they can serve a lot of entrepreneurs in our domestic market. Now, moving to agricultural products that we can export: ginger, cashew, cocoa, sesame. These are the cash crops. Everybody knows this one. Everybody talks about this all the time. But what about something as simple as ewedu leaves, as ugu leaves? As some African countries don't have this, our own vegetables. I know Liberia, some of the people I know, even one of my mentors, at some point she had to relocate to Liberia, and she was complaining that she had not eaten green shoko, what we call shoko, and tete and ugu leaf for like months. They don't have it in Liberia. Sierra Leone and all that, I think they use as an alternative. What they eat as vegetable is usually sweet potato leaf or cassava leaf. That's what they add to their soups. And she was just craving, like, God, if I can see ugu leaf, if I can see fresh shoko and tete. Over time, sometimes when I go to Nakwa, I see people exporting it now to African countries, not even to the UK, like fresh vegetables, usually small, small boxes, like not bigger than our normal Indomie super pack boxes. Punch a bit of hose by the side, put it there. Within the next day, it has gotten there. And this is also an avenue. A lot of people overlook these simple, simple things. People think you have to have a ginger plantation or a cashew or a cocoa plantation. If you don't have all these ones are quite expensive to start, quite all right. But what about these little, little things? What about buying to resell, to export? You don't have to start farming from the scratch. But while we are buying all this, while we are farming, while we are getting all this in bulk, we have to also be equipping the farmers to be able to, branch out into um sustainable farming, so we don't export everything and leave ourselves stranded over time. Then some fruits, our seasonal fruits: mango, um agbalumo, what we call the cherry, different things. Our what's it called, pineapples. Do you know we also import pineapples from Cotonou, nearby African countries? The demand here, watermelon, and so much. We have so many seasonal fruits that we have shop, we have our normal avocado, pear, so many that are exportable. Then cut flowers, herbs, spices, the same way we import this. If there are some that we have on a larger scale here, we can also export. Then solid minerals: gemstone, cotton, gold processing, mining of industrial minerals. People in Ajaokuta, people that have contact to the north. A lot of northern states and middle belt states have minerals that we can export. Then services: Nollywood, films, ICT. I've touched on those ones before. Invisible exports, I've talked about this: our movies, our sports, logistics, transport, financial services. logistics is very, very profitable. Yes, it has its highs and lows. There is a lot of risk in it. I'm telling you, as someone in the business, see cargo service, all this, our freight forwarders that, pack goods in bulk for people, send it out, someone else over there clears it. As a clearing officer over there in the UK, there is money over time. There are people who have quit their 9 to 5s just because they've seen how much profit can be made from cargo or logistics business. So it's not just about products alone. This is one of the service that you can go into and you would still make it. Of course, there are risks, but just like every business, because there are risks, there is also gain, right? So um these are some of the things: tiger nut, kola nut, chili pepper, palm oil, soya beans, processed rubber, pharmaceutical products. I'm just trying to like make this bold so you can see this one. Seafood, marine products, seafoods like crayfish, prawns, some local fishes and all this. You get it, you harvest it, you oven dry it, you pack it properly for export, and people will buy. And what are the requirements? We're slowly making progress to the parts that is like very, very um important. What are the requirements for export? What if I don't have so much to set up like a proper factory, or to set up an office, like a big complex to do this business? I always tell people, start where you are. Over time, you can improve, reiterate, and then scale up, right? So the first thing you need, if you are starting out, I might even need to like compress it even lesser, but for the basics, you would need a digital scale. A 50 kg to 100 kg scale is okay. Then decide on your product or service in demand abroad. You would need to do some market analysis, do some research, find out the ones that you can access in your location. If you are from Kogi State, if you are from Enugu State, if you are from Delta State, if you are from, Southwest here, Abeokuta, Osun, what are the things your village is known for that you still have relatives or contacts that you can talk to, and they will be able to link you up with producers or farmers of these things, right? Decide on the product, then think of how you want to export it. Do you want to export it in a raw form? Do you want it to be semi-processed? Say, for example, ginger. Some people just get ginger or cashew nuts and they send it like that. Cashew nuts, the normal one you eat it has already gone through a lot of stages. So first of all, it has been harvested from the fruits. The fruits is separated from the nut. The nut is dried for a while before it is cut up, before it is roasted, before they bring out the seeds out. Maybe re-roast it again and add salt for preservation and all that. Do you want to do that? Same with ginger. There is raw ginger, fresh ginger that still has moisture content. There is semi-dried ginger. There's dry split ginger, and there's ginger powder. Do you understand? Same thing with some vegetables. You can export some vegetables fresh. There is fresh, you can send some items fresh. There are some countries that we have international flights going out every day or every 3 days or every 5 days, that you can send fresh items, while some you have to freeze those items. We send frozen snails abroad. We send some things like Iru, the fresh one. We send some things like fresh pap abroad, starch. We send when agbalumo was in season, when avocado, soursop, some of these things, we send it abroad fresh like that. But we just have to make sure it is cool a bit. So you have to look at the one that you can do sustainably over time, and you can always have steady supply for it. There are people who have built brands on just snails alone. Maybe over time they added a few other things, but the main thing they are known is for snail export. So if you are deciding on that, you have to, do your research, go into interior villages, find suppliers, not just one, multiple suppliers, so you can do cost comparison. Do you understand? Then when you have now gotten, you now have to decide, do you want to just be doing frozen, like that fresh one, You wash it, you clean it, you freeze it for people and you send it. Do you want to do the dried one? There are some countries that you can only send the dried ones. There are some countries that allow the fresh one, but it must be deshelled. The UK allows even the one in shell. The US doesn't. Do you understand? So your research will make you see more about that product, know more about the product, find suppliers, and now look at, okay, what are the export standards when it comes to importation of these products? Because now, if you are taking it into the UK, you have to look at UK import rules for snails, US import rules for snails, US import rules for palm oil, US import rules for palm kernel. Palm oil is not the only thing from the palm tree that you can export. People are exporting palm wine. People are exporting that seed, palm kernel seed. They use it for vegetable oil. They use it for other organic oils. People are exporting even the shell. That shell is a source of fuel, is a source of fire. If you've grown in the village, I make nuances to this. I grew up, my first 6-7 years were spent in the village. So I'm one kind of grandma to an extent. Do you understand? So I know some of these things because I experienced it. I know how bitter kola is done. I know how kola nut is cleaned up. I know how palm oil is processed. Right now, I know how to differentiate very good palm oil from the one that has taste. Even some kind of quality of palm oil, I know the one that was left to stay for long before they processed it. Do you understand? So these things are not things you just get online. These are some of the things that you have to go into the field and find out. And for those of us that are already residing over there, where it now comes in, the assignment for you is to now get good resource persons that can be your legs and your eyes to go into those places. Do you understand? So that your quality is assured. Because one thing about exports is quality determines your pricing. Quality determines your pricing. The price for whole cashew nut is not the price you get for the ones that are broken. The price for a certain for beans that is very, very dried is different from beans that is split. Same thing with sesame seeds, same thing with normal egusi, normal ogbono. Do you understand? So if you don't have access to all the big serere products, you can start with the basics that people use for food. Like the main staples for food, an average Nigerian, whether you are from the north, east, west, you eat egusi, you eat ogbono, you want to use palm oil, you eat with pepper, you use some spices, you use crayfish. Do you understand? Those are some of the things you are talking about. Like bare minimum, what can you start if you have put it in your mind that you want to start exporting within the next 3 months? These are some of the barest minimum you can start with little market entry, oppositions, with little to no difficulties for you. So the next one is now basic knowledge of social media marketing. If you can't do it yourself, be ready to hire someone to do it. But visibility is a must. You have to be visible online, because the online platforms you are on is the bridge between you and the next person that will buy from you. You can't travel to Belgium, travel to Switzerland, travel to Netherlands, travel to Canada to go and be marketing your product to all the companies there one by one. Yes, why we pray for that level of growth, but starting from the basics is online that they will check to see your catalog, see your pricing, see the quality, see your branding and everything. So you have to be online. Online visibility is a must when it comes to the export business. If you notice, over time, you see a lot of cargo companies that are now very, 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 very like their online presence is increased. They employ even content creators. Some of them pay influencers once in a while to talk about their branding. Why? To talk about their business. Why? The more they are visible online, the more potential customers will see them, come to their page, and eventually send people to drop off goods with them. Do you understand? If you didn't see me online, or if you have not been interacting with Dr. Isaac's post, you would not know about this training, right? So that is why that's one of the importance of being visible online. Then the next one is cargo agents or rates to different countries. You have to find out the rates to these different countries. What does it cost to send to the UK? What does it cost to send to the US? What is the minimum kg required? If I want to send out samples, how do I send it? Find out these things, write it down, because these things will affect your pricing over time, right? Then lastly, offer discounts as a leg in the door, like your market penetration strategy. Offer discounts, offer promos or special offers. Your offer has to be very good to make people shift from their previous supplier and consider you. So next is shipping methods. How do we send abroad? How do we send abroad? So we have the three methods. The first one is air cargo. Typically, air cargo within 3 days to 15 days for most countries would have gotten to them. That's the general consolidated ones where agents pile up goods, like agents who give to either BA or KLM or Turkish Airlines. Most of these airlines, when it comes to their cargo services, have a minimum. You as a private individual now cannot carry 4 boxes. The average box will take like 25 kg. The average travel luggage will take 25 kg. If you are taking 1 or 2 or 3 to them, they will not really accept it. If they accept it, the rate you will take that thing, the rate they will charge will be quite exorbitant. Most of them have minimum kg required. So sometimes when you see people complain that, oh, they've given their goods to an agent and it took 3 weeks for the goods to get to them, it does not mean that the airline held your products for 3 weeks per se. The first 1 week, they might have been piling those products, piling, so that they can have 1 ton, 2 ton, 3 tons, The higher the kg they give to the airlines, the better the pricing they would get over time. So that's usually the cause of delays for cargo consolidation when you are doing that. The next one is express. So a lot of people explore this method if the item in question is either fragile or needed, like it's time sensitive. So it's usually for documents, for samples. Maybe you're speaking with a prospective customer and they want to get a small sample with 2 kg. You can send sample, whether it's a spices or flour products or whatever it is you want to send. 2 kg, you can use DHL or UPS or FedEx. Usually within 3 to 5 working days, they would have delivered to any part of the world that you are sending these items to. So that's it for express delivery. And if you are interested in going into the cargo service provider, the requirement to have an account with these people is your registered business document and your tax ID, your business tax ID. So DHL has the commercial accounts that you can open with them, and you can now be receiving goods and make your own small profit on top, export it for people, and be good. Frozen delivery, I had explained it in detail about some fresh items you can send: pap, fufu, fresh fruits that are in season, snails, shrimps, fish. You can send through this. Some people even use it to send cooked food. Some airlines allow it, while some airlines do not, because of the customs requirements of the country they are landing in. Some countries do not want to see anything fish or meat in any item coming into that country, particularly if it is in cooked or solid form. Because if you're sending cooked food, you have to freeze it to be very dry, kakaraka. Do you understand? So some countries do not allow that, while some do. You understand? So if you are doing frozen delivery, you have to freeze it very, very well, at least for some days, so it's rock solid. Within 3 days, it would have gotten over there. Usually a few hours would have gotten there, but customs inspection, depending on the volume of goods that particular state airport gets, will now determine how long that thing now stays again. And once the airline has offloaded, it's no longer in a controlled environment, like temperature controlled environment. So you have to ensure that even while this thing is out of a freezer or a cool state, it is still very, very strong. So frozen delivery, people who do cargo do it. Some people who do cooked food also offer that. Of course, at a more higher rate, it's usually more expensive. The faster a means of delivery is, the more expensive it will be. That's why people complain about DHL, UPS. Even as people complain about cargo, everybody still wants to do cargo. Why? Because it's cheaper. Notwithstanding that it takes longer, people do it because it's cheaper. You get dry delivery, that's the consolidated one, would usually take 1 to 3 weeks. I explained the reason why it takes that long. Piling up of goods to get their required volume so as to get cheaper rates here in the departing country. And then in the host country, backlog of goods with customs will usually make some goods stay longer before customs give the permit for it to be cleared. You would need your phytosanitary certificate, air cargo. What are the things you need? Your phytosanitary certificate. Your cargo agent can get this done for you. You can also get it from the agency in charge of it. When during our Q&A session, I can drop some of these things, or in the group if we have access, if we have time. If we don't have enough time to go through all this, later on in the group, I can drop some of the templates for these things, what it looks like. Then your agent handles your documentation and agency fees and all that. Destination clearance. Once you have given your goods to an agent in that your host country, the agent already has another partner agent or a broker in that other end to clear it. For those who are shipping out items like for personal use right now, because we talked about the post that brought a lot of people here is allowed. So if you are good with research and everything, condensing knowledge, you can work in this aspect. Then delays or missing shipments. This one boils down to supply chain management. Some people are doing cargo business without knowing how to label items properly, without without having softwares for warehouse management. A lot of our cargo people in Nigeria are guilty of this, where we still use manual tagging of products. If we have software systems or solution providers that can provide something the way you can, DHL already does this. I think God is Good also does this. If the way you would hand over items in a supermarket, you buy things and you just put it on the checkout place, somebody clicks and that thing is tracked. I don't know, barcode system. We need some sort of barcode system that can work for people that are doing a lot of volume of goods, like the way we have for supermarkets. I've been looking for this for some of my clients and some of our colleagues. Even me, I need it. A lot of the software systems is just for supermarkets, for people in supply, like for FMCG. What about people that are doing, agro products, people that are doing things that is not just edibles? Do you understand? Someone who is doing exports that has variety of things. I don't know how to put this, but if there's someone here, please get in touch with me later. Government regulations, this one we usually don't have any control on it, but I feel if we are if we develop into a systemized like industry, that we are now more regulated, we have some sort of union that is active, we can talk to the government and make them create policies or effectively bring in policies that will favor exports in Nigeria. Take for example, you exporting beans to the UK. A lot of people have to send items to Ghana first. exporting yam, you have to take your yam first to Ghana before you can send it to UK or US or Canada. Why? Their port system is faster than Nigerian own. If you are exporting things in Nigeria, your goods might stay at a Apapa port for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, sometimes even 6 weeks before it will leave. So what are the things we can do? How can we have public-private partnerships to make our system effective? Because the more efficient our port process is, the more we'll be able to get more serious companies coming in to buy products from Nigeria. A lot of people like our product, a lot of industries want to buy things from us. But when they think of the corruption, the inefficiency, the bottlenecks that happens with our papa, they will buy it in the north, truck it to nearby African countries, and now send it out. And we're losing a lot of revenue. So what can we do with regards to our government regulations? How can our government, our Minister of Trade, Minister of Export and all those, how can we bring them on board to even negotiate government to government policies or bilateral trade agreements for us? The government of Ethiopia, the government of Kenya, the government of Ghana have to bring those agreements on board for them. Do you understand? Even our inter-African trade within Africa can be better, right? So if we can have some sort of cohesiveness with this, I believe we can make some changes with government regulations that affect the export business. Then competition, there is a lot of competition, but where there is a lot of competition, it means that there is profit in it. So what can you do differently to brand yourself? Now, moving on, we're making progress. Mistakes to avoid in export. So you have started the business, you have started getting customers. What are some of the challenges that you would, experience? The first one is fraudulent agents. There are agents that you give items to, you don't get the complete product. Maybe you handed over 100 pieces of items, you are getting 97, you are getting 95. What then happens to the rest? A whole lot of back and forth. There are agents who tamper with your weight. So what's the solution around that? Weigh your goods before sending. Ensure that your goods are properly labeled. Extra clearance fee, have your records. Always agree on things before handing over products to your agents. I will make there's a recording of this, so you can always see the slides better. You can always go back to the training, right? Other things that you can do, work around, is clarify your order, clarify responsibilities and payments. And some buyers can actually cheat you if you are not very knowledgeable. Some buyers can make you go into accept payment terms that are not favorable for you. So always ensure that you are clear. Bank information must be vetted. Do not ever send out products to anyone apart from just samples. Do not send out a full consignment without legally binding contracts, without getting your bank involved, without getting a letter of credit. Even if there are issues around trust where they are saying they don't trust this and this and that, that's where escrow accounts or escrow banks come in. This means how does this work? The bank vets these people to be sure that they can buy, they have the capacity to pay, and then they get a payment, a standing letter of credit, and hold on to it. So the bank does not release the money to you until you have met the terms of agreement. Probably you have sent the goods out, or the goods have already been received, or a bill of lading. A bill of lading means you have successfully handed this item over to a shipping line, and the thing has already moved. So once a bill of lading is out, the bank can release your money to you. You understand? So that's where having lawyers, having your contracts signed, having your bank too on board comes in. So thankfully, a lot of our Nigerian banks are seeing the huge volume of benefits that can come from export, and they even organize seminars, organize programs, encourage people, give out information, give out credit as well to finance some contracts. When you get some sorts of contract that you can't handle individually, your bank can give you credit facility for it. Dealing with customers, difficult customers, clarify your request. Whatever they are ordering, always ensure that you clarify and break it down. Avoid hasty deals. Agree on the payment. Do not process orders without payment, either partial or full. Ensure that you have that sorted out. Avoid customers that want contraband and expect you to bear the liability. So for some countries, things like pomo, meat, milk, dairy products are contrabands. If you are sending such, because there are agents that can do that, if you are sending such, ensure that you clearly spell out who bears the liability, or ensure that they accept to pay for insurance on it. So if anything goes wrong, you do not bear that. You don't. I've made a lot of refunds in this life. Oh, hey, I've made refunds very well because I value my integrity. But at the end of the day, if it was someone without integrity that was doing those business, if this thing has gone, it has gone. It does not concern me. You understand? So one thing I've learned over time, the insight that comes with experience, is just ensure if it is contraband at the point where you've handed over to an agent and you have provided proof that you have done that supply, that liability should be off you. If customs sees the load, if customs trash it, if there is delay or anything that happens, make sure that you are not the one bearing that liability. Do you understand? And if you want to bear that liability, ensure you have enough funds to cover it, so that if anything goes wrong, you can process another order and send to them. So if you see people who do goat meat, who do ram and all those fresh food and all, they charge very well, so that in case anything goes wrong, they can manage that customer. So next steps, what are the things you should be doing next? Decide on the export product. These are my assignments for you. Decide on the export products or service to focus on. This looks like a lot of information because we are trying to compress a lot of information to limited time for you. But I need you to go through this again. Write down the things you can do. Document, do your research, find suppliers, get cargo rate, study how you can put yourself out there uniquely. What's going to be your USP? With your knowledge of business over there, I know there are a lot of UK-based people here. With your knowledge of how business is done in the UK and the frustrations you have with doing business with Nigerian-based businesses, how can you, be different? Do you understand? So find out, write it down. Find people who are already doing this business that you can partner with. You don't have to do everything from scratch. There are people who already produce these products, right? You can teach them, this is how I want it to be for the UK market. You can be a distributor for someone that already produces here in Nigeria. You can be a UK distributor. You can be their leg in the UK or the US. You can find, Mexican stores. You can find, it doesn't have to be African stores. A lot of African stores import themselves. They find their relatives that will fill up a container for them and everything. So how can you meet them halfway? How can you make some profit without bearing all the cost of capital, processing, and all that? There is always a lot that we can do. Like export is vast. Export is vast. So if you are going to go into some certain productions or you want to go into agro products, you need to start gathering pictures and videos of your products. Then your digital skill, you have a page manager, or if you have experience with online marketing, you do that. Then your graphics designer to brand your products. You need to do your labels. Your labels for your products have to be appealing. They need to meet the standard. There needs to be batch number. There needs to be an expiry date on it. You don't just do design and put your name alone and the name of the product. There has to be content, how to use it, key ingredients, all these things. If you are exporting to Canada, Canada has some French speaking parts. So do you want to put some of the things on your label written in French? If you are planning for the export market, these are some of the things you need to do. So we are gradually coming to the end. So, do I have success stories? A whole lot. I was even confused. I didn't know which people to highlight for you. We have people who are into foodstuff business here operating from Nigeria that actually get steady customers that pay in dollars. Countryside food and spices has undergone my training. I have one-on-one packages. I have people that I train online. I have export courses. Winners Food took my export course. She's based in the UK and her primary product is palm oil, good quality palm oil. With my help, she was able to get good suppliers without being in Nigeria, and she sells in the UK, she supplies stores. She's a stay-at-home mom, but she makes good money. Right. Then for those that are thinking it's just food stuff alone, Sparkle Bell was one of my clients as far back as 2023. When she came to me, she wanted to know how to expand into other markets because she does skincare, right? And she particularly has black soap that was very, very good. So what did we do? We found a way to get distributors for her in the US and in UK. And now she does not have to try to find individual customers. Whenever people reach out to her from the US or UK, she just points them to her US distributor and her UK distributor. And the volume, one thing that comes with distributorship is you get a good volume, meaning that the profits you are supposed to make, the labor you will do to try to get 100 customers, you already have that when one person is buying from you and you just push customers to them. So there is a system to it, which is what you get if you have a one-on-one with me, or if you take any of my other trainings, you will find out specific details on how to do that. Whether you're a business based here in Nigeria or you're someone based over there and you are looking at products that you can start going into, that you can start doing and making good money. Ibile Grossa is also a student. She's in the UK. Like Winners Food, she wanted, prior to her traveling for her UK masters, she wanted to like look at the things she can do. We worked together to pick products that she can get easily. And over time, even with limited number of followers, she does export steadily. She has steady products that she sells over there in the UK. Now, I still have other things in the slide, but I believe as we're having questions, we can now talk about it. So what should be your next steps? What should you do if you have gone through this now and you want a roadmap? What are you going to do in the next 30 to 90 days to significantly move you before you took this course to now taking action and seeing results, right? First one, let's say this week we're entering now, decide on your products and research buyers for it. Who are the people that need this product? What industries need these raw materials? Which industries need shea butter or cocoa butter or palm kernel oil and stuff like that? How do I supply to them? Things like that. What platforms? Sometimes you can even search as if you are a buyer that wants to buy this product so that you see platforms that are on. Week 2, you find suppliers for those products, you get your cargo rates, you build your online presence. Week 3, we can start with marketing. After you have decided on your business name, how you want to go about it, start marketing, introduction on your WhatsApp, Facebook. I have people that they didn't even do so much. They just started writing on WhatsApp that, do you need fresh palm oil from Nigeria with no smell and this? We have it. And people started reaching out to her and she started getting orders. There is a US-based doctor that does popo gari. She does agbalumo when it's season and palm oil and this Delta Banga starch. Those 4 products are what she keyed into, and she gets steady orders for it from her location in Atlanta, USA. So most times it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have a page that has all the aesthetics on point and everything. Do the basics and start marketing. Just be consistent. Have your pricing that is okay, and then you can run a few sponsored adverts for a start, for awareness. Over time, when you now have offers, buy this for so price, you can now do more of retargeting ads. Week 4, if you get your first shipment, now we are just doing this as a week by week step. So for some people, it might be faster than this, depending on your implementation. For some people, it might take longer than this, right? So with your first shipment or your first request, people start asking if you are the type that you want partners or distributors over there, put it out boldly. UK distributor needed, UK partners needed. These are the terms and conditions. What are the benefits they will get as being your distributors? What are some of the perks that you have? You know, if somebody is buying one from you and somebody wants to be a distributor, what's the benefit? What's there for them? You understand? You want to spell this out so that it's clear. Now, finally, thank you for joining. Did you get value? We'll need to take your questions. I would take a few minutes off to drink water and short break. Mr. Isaac, you can pick out some questions that I can take after the short break.
Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you so much. That was wow, wow, wow. If you've gotten value from this so far, can you kindly share your thoughts in the comment section? I can see a lot of thank you very much in the comments already. Guys, feel free to appreciate Adora for that really resourceful session. We're gonna be taking your questions as much as we possibly can. So we would give that just 15 minutes. 15 minutes to take our questions. But in the meantime, let's drop those questions in the, I think there should be a conversation. There should be a conversation, a separate question tab here, right? If I'm correct. Let me quickly have a look at it so that it doesn't get lost in the chats. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so yeah, keep the questions coming. We will take the questions one after the other. And I hope that this has been a valuable session for everyone here as well. Now, the thing with starting this business is that all you need for starters really is a vision. That's yes, why do you want to do this? What do you want to do it for? Why are you doing it? And are you ready to give it what it takes? For anything really that succeeds in life, it's all about your why. What's your why? As long as your why is strong enough, you would have enough guts to conquer, counter, and overcome any challenge that comes. Because in this business, and it's as with anything in life, you never have a journey without a challenge, but it's in overcoming those challenges, that you actually you gain experience, you become stronger, you become better, right? So we're not saying that everything is gonna be smooth. No, nobody promises that. You actually in life itself, you never have a champion that is not challenged. It is overcoming challenges that actually makes champions. So the clear message here is that as long as you're willing to give what it takes, this has the capacity to not only turn things around. For those of us who already have businesses, this can be the next level for your business. You're producing products, but you're selling within the confines of Lagos or Kaduna or Bauchi, Nigeria generally, right? When you could actually export the same products and get times 5, times 4, times 3, times 2 the value that you currently get. That is the opportunity, that this presents, right? I think it was last week someone reached out to one of, a lot of people actually, but one of the people that reached out to me, she actually owns a massive store, in Glasgow in the UK, right? And she's done businesses before with people, and I'm saying this deliberately again, that as you go into this business, my personal implore I personally implore you to please, beyond all the products, beyond all the excellence, please add integrity to it. You see, at times we think it is about how hard we work, but at times it's just about the quality of our integrity. You know, Nigeria is so powerful. Nigerians are so powerful, right? But a lot of times I imagine what would happen if we had 100% integrity to what we do. And integrity really is what we do when no
Then,
one, you know, what are you gonna do when a client
so there's
is,
nothing I can get for this life.
you know, so particularly in this line of business, integrity is an asset. So if I do business with you today, you know, and you deliver exactly the way you said you would, even if I find a better price outside tomorrow, I will still want to do business with you because I know that I have peace of mind. There's trust in that business.
I just wanted to ask like a few questions too.
Yeah, go for it.
So first off, how do I get to know of prices of my agro products like cocoa and cashew on the international market? Like let's say I want to sell to countries like the UK, US or the Netherlands. How do I know what like packaging of the price of my agro produce is?
Okay, it's very simple. There are internationally accepted prices. Once you check online, you will find it on some websites. So it's
Yes,
now
like
your pricing now depends on the quality. So some have specifications of when it comes to moisture, volume, and all that. So price per ton, there's price per ton, price per kg, and you would see it.
yeah, like are there platforms we can check like specific platforms or websites?
Yes, yes, there are platforms like to go for world business. I can type some, while others we can put on the community. Are you in the community? So I'll share the links to those platforms on the community so others
Yes,
too can see it.
I am. Yes,
Yes, I will add that later.
I would appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
My
welcome.
second question, second question, yes, ma'am. My second question is the logistics fees that we as the supplier will pay to the logistics company that we are partnering with. Does it have to? Will it be included in buyer's payment? And does the buyer have to know?
Yes, you can price. There are two different ways of pricing. You can price as if the products are already there. So if you are pricing with the currency of the place you are supplying to, you have to factor in your shipping fee. But if you are pricing or selling with Nigerian Naira, you just price your products alone, then specify um price of shipping. So there is a payment term that is called cost, insurance, and freight. CIF. If a customer asks for what is your price per ton for cocoa, 1 ton, you understand, and they add CIF, you know that they are asking for the cost of the cocoa, insurance, and freight as well. So they are
Yes.
asking you for everything included. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. I can see Martin's out. Martin, you can go ahead.
Okay, Martins, did you get answer? Are you clear on that now?
No, it wasn't.
Okay,
It
so
wasn't me that.
before
It wasn't me that asked. Yeah, I have a question. Thank you.
you see a proper website with your prices, and I always recommend that if you are searching for people to buy in bulk, have a bulk offer as well, not just the unit prices on your website. So take for example, this week we are going into, you have a package for distributors. Write it boldly that it is for distribution.
Oh
Switch to
no.
mobile. Write it boldly that it is for distributors,
Okay.
right? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yes, I can. Yes. So write it boldly that distributor offer, UK distributorship offer. Get this. These are the perks, these are the benefits. run ads for it that is targeted at the UK. Do you understand? There's a way you will run adverts that everybody coming would be from the UK. And because your offer is very clear, as they are coming, the questions they are asking you is not question to ask whether you are really reliable or not. Because you have built a credible page, they would see that this person has track record. They will see that this person has a factory or a processing facility. They will see your prices. They will see reviews on your page already. They will see how neat. If you already have NAFDAC, put it there. If you don't have NAFDAC, but you're working on it, I would recommend that you get FDA. FDA typically comes out within 6 to 8 weeks, and sometimes it even gives you leverage than NAFDAC number safe. That's US
Yes,
FDA
I have both.
approved.
Yeah, I have
So write
FDA
it
and
boldly there that it is FDA approved and put your FDA number. Do you understand? So all the possible objections they may have, you have already responded to it over time. So what you'll be getting is just people who want to maybe probably tweak a few products or add this for me, remove this for me. But you have to run ads, have a budget for ads. That's what I would say. Don't go into people's DMs, spamming them with pictures of your product and all that. It will just get you blocked. If you run ads consistently with 2, 3, 4 distributors in different countries, you are set. And if you retail orders you get from maybe personal or private people buying for private use, you're good to go. So with time, as you are getting your profit, you have a certain budget that is set for ads, whether it is Instagram ads or Facebook ads or Google ads. Please have one budget for it.
Okay, thank you very much. Secondly, I want to ask about the bumper site. I have a bumper site, but then in reference to what you just said, if I'm running ads and most likely they would like to buy through the website, what will the prices be like? Like, is it going to be in Naira or in pounds in the currency of that country?
You can set it up to have the currency of the buyer. They can pick what they want. Do you understand? If they are buying, we talked about this on how the customer should pay. If they are buying from you in Naira, they are not going to pay for shipping. But if you are able to get a UK distributor,
Okay.
you understand, and you and your distributor have paid money, you have shipped it by sea so that it will be cheaper. The products are already in the UK. You can now have a section for UK buyers where the prices have been upwardly reviewed. Do you understand?
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm
You're
grateful.
welcome.
Okay, the next question.
Paloma,
Go for it.
my question is split. So I want you to confirm this. During my research, I found the platform. I came in contact with the platform where they will connect you to verified buyers, or you will have to pay for their subscription.
Yes, most of them, of course, you have to pay. If you want to get the best out of them, you have to pay. So when you pay, you have access to people who are requesting, like potential buyers that have already even dropped request of all they want. It's now left for you to take up the conversations with them. And some of them on the pro version, they assign an account officer to you to give you customers.
Okay, that's good. So sorry, ma, as a startup exporter like this, starting up, ma, are there like platforms that give grants to Nigerian youths like us to start this exportation? Because it involves funding a lot.
Yes, there are startups, but their requirements may be for most people who give grants, your business has to be registered. There has to be maybe a physical location. There has to be a track record of your business. You understand? If you can't just want to start out today now and start looking for a grant. They have to see that your skin is in the game for a while, and over time you now start getting opportunities. So the first thing is housekeeping. Get your docs lined up.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, one question per person moving forward because of our time. So let's
Okay,
have
let's also take some questions from people in the comment section. How do we get NAFDAC certificates and others? We will send links to people resource persons who help out with NAFDAC. Of course, you need to have some of their requirements done, but the requirements are not as tedious anymore. And there are also organizations that help with your NAFDAC. I think there's government agency that is in every state, TIC, Tech Incubation Hub. So if you don't have a factory or you don't have a processing facility, because NAFDAC will come to inspect, you can use TIC hubs as your manufacturing point. When NAFDAC comes, they inspect for you over there, and you can get your NAFDAC approved. There is one in Agege. In every state, there is a tech incubation hub. It's government funded. So whatever product you are doing, they have a section where you can do your manufacturing there. Over time, you can now create a small place in your own location. A few of the NAFDAC registration that comes off the top of my head, particularly for food, there has to be place that is neatly tiled. You have to use stainless steel materials. You have to have a few machineries, you understand? And then hygiene and everything. It's just hygiene. They want to be sure that you are doing very well. If you don't have that, without your factory, use TIC hubs. Tech Incubation Hub, Agege. Just Google it. You'll see the address. If you are not in Lagos, there should be one in your location. They are all scattered across the country. Next person is saying, even if we are not ready now, can we still pay for the cost to gain this discount till we are ready? Yes, please. Yes, please. I've shared the link to Dr. Isaac. He will put it on the group.
Yeah.
Madam Adora, please, what's your company name? Smart Exporters Limited. Someone Precious is asking, thank you for your presentation. However, throughout, I did not really get my hands on how I can actually export. Aside registering as a commercial partner with DHL, where do I need to go to actually export? Apapa Airport, where you mentioned agents. Which ones, please? Can you clarify how one can directly export themselves instead of using agents, or is it impossible to do this? You can't export yourself as a startup mini exportation without going through agents, because there are documents, there are registrations you need to have done before you can do exporting yourself. So we are putting this for people who are just starting out. Over time, as you build capacity, you can now take goods directly to the airline. For someone who is just starting, it's not expected that you already have up to 2 tons worth of goods, do you understand, to give to the airlines so as to have a competitive rate. So those agents that do consolidated cargo have better pricing, which will over time affect your own pricing that you can use to land customers. Do you understand? So if you have goods now and you just take it to the airport directly, they will charge you solely for that 100 kg that you have. I don't think they take anything less than 100 kg directly. And what they will charge you if you're like giving to the airline directly, if you compare it to what you would be charged if you give it to an agent who does larger volumes, the agent price will be cheaper. Now, where can you find those agents? There is NACO Avians in Lagos where you can head into and you will meet agents that can help you. Then also online, there are businesses that do this that also have online pages. I also do UK. I'm also a freight forwarder. I do UK, USA, Canada. You understand? For other locations that I don't handle, I can give you contacts. In that my export course, there are contacts of verified agents that you can work with for South Africa, for Indonesia, for Philippines, for EU countries as well. Do you understand? Thank you. Centrita says she's interested in the course. Ms. Isaac, please help me put the link on the community so they can.
Yeah.
Salisu is asking, do you ship raw agro produce too? Yes, I have experience with container a lot. I've done about 3 this year, sorry.
Yes,
And
Carol, can you help me put, okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, link to the course. Let me put it in the...
Okay, I've seen it. No worries. They'll work on that shortly. Just go ahead with the questions. Yeah.
Yes, so raw agro produce are always better for the customer and for you if you do it by sea. So shipping is easier. Someone else is asking if we can... if it is possible to do export yourself. Yes, you can, but with agents, you need agents. Questions. I'm trying to scroll up. How would I connect a seller to a commercial buyer? Okay. You need to set up that. You need to set up a business. There are procurement agencies. Being a middleman is not a bad thing. If you already have people in the interiors that don't have access to knowledge of digital marketing, you can set up a page, put up the products, talk about the benefits, give value, run ads, and you will get sellers. You will get buyers. Once you get buyers that are interested, of course, you've added value, so you will make your own money from it. Whether you want to connect them directly or you mark up the price, you add your own profit and sell to them. People do this even here locally within Nigeria. They go to the north, they buy product, they bring it to markets in the city centers, and they sell with a profit. Hilda is asking, how can I find and connect with international buyers who need bulk palm oil as raw materials for their product? What is the best way to start exporting to them? You would get them online. We have discussed various ways that you can position your business to be found by them online. Then afterwards, if you have moved from mini exportation and you do your registrations, you sign up with Export Promotion Council. There are some contracts that comes directly to agro cooperatives and export agencies or ministries of trade. Because you are registered and part of these associations, they will reach out to you. They will let you know when there is bulk purchase order online on ground. Okay, there are a lot of comments that are just contributions as well that are funny. Okay, Demora Global Chidima Ugu says if you need palm oil and cashew nuts, she's available. Precious Easy. Okay, Precious repeated her questions a lot. Oluwapelumi Salako, is delivery cost added to the price quoted or the buyer pays for delivery separately? The buyer determines what they want. If they want price alone, you give them. If they want cost, insurance, freight, cost plus shipping, you also give them. So that's why you need to have different agents for different countries that you find out their pricing as well. And it's very easy to find. Once you check cargo agents to so place, you can also do more due diligence. If there are some pages you find that you want to know if they are real or legit, you can always share with me. Because of my experience, I've worked with a lot of people over time. So I have a lot of colleagues I know already. And if they are not real, I can let you know. How do I get to know prices of raw agro products on the international market? Okay, Salisu already asked this, we've answered. How do I get international clients for charcoal? Yes, we've responded to how to get buyers. Please, you have to do your research. There are a lot of things that we can't, if we start talking about them, we won't leave this class today. Okay, this person who talked about tracking to combat missing items, please send that information to me. I would really appreciate that. Okay, Ayoade Sherifat is asking, how can I charge or put prices on one's product on websites for foodstuff? I don't know how to calculate or give price to clients. So if pricing is an issue for you, we can talk in the DM. But generally, the expenses you do plus the cost plus your profits, you need to look at how much profits you want, whether it's a 5% profit, a 10% or 30%. For foodstuffs, typically people do 20 to 30% markup on it. But you have to look at the cost, the transportation, the packaging, things that you have done to add value to the product, so that you are not just pricing yourself out of the market. And one thing I need to tell you is, if you are packaging for export, your competitor is not the normal products in the market. If they are selling one Congo of Gary, one pint of Gary for 2.5 in the market, you should not be feeling somehow. You should not feel like you are outpricing yourself by putting your own, and your own is higher than the 2,500 naira. The one in the market is being sold with just black leather bag, with just nylon bag. If you have done stickers, you have ensured that this thing is dry, you have done labels and everything, you are putting it in a pouch. You can't be pricing 2.5 and people in the market are pricing 2.5. So I get a lot of people who feel that their things are exorbitant. If it's the export market, you've added value to it because you have to meet packaging specifications. So your costs that you incur will determine what you eventually put as your markup. And I also talked about whether you should price in dollars or naira. If you're still in Nigeria, you're pricing in naira, but make sure it's a good price that you are making profit. Do you understand? When we talk about export, it's not that you put all your problems on one product. We are talking about putting value on the product, ensuring that you do enough visibility so that you are getting a lot of sales over time. You are doing turnover. If the average person does sales of maybe 50 to 20 packs of this product in a week, because you are getting people who are also buying from outside country, you are now doing 70, you are now doing 100. That's more money for you. Not necessarily that you are making dollars, but your business is growing, your business is expanding. If eventually you are now able to get people who want to pay for delivery, cost of the product plus delivery, you are good to go. You can price in dollars because you are also paying extra shipping fee for it. Okay, Mr. Martin asked about the mayor of London talking about reduced tariff and zero tariff. Yes, his visit will be beneficial, but it's not immediately. Maybe those at the ports have already started working on it, but do we have any resultant change right now? Not yet. Over time, those bottlenecks, will they be raised? Yes, eventually. Every year, Zenith Bank does summits. We invite people at the port, we invite customs generals, everybody that is a big stakeholder in export. We talk about changes that needs to be made. We talk about we export. We talk about the problems we are facing at the port. They will promise a change, and at the end of the day, do we see the change immediately? No. But Zenith Bank has been consistent. NEPC as well has been consistent in doing the trainings, in inviting the stakeholders, and we are seeing change. Right now, there is that single window clearance thing they do at the ports. Before, it was not so. Before, you have to move from different offices to get all the documentations you need to do. Now, with that single window stuff, you can get the major parts of documentation you need to move your product out at Apapa. You can get it done online. Are there still delays? Yes, but not as much as before. So eventually change will come, but it's not immediately as fast just because mayor came to Nigeria. Do you understand, sir?
Yeah, yes, I do. I see you've answered the question before. I see a lot of hands raised. Just another question just popped in regarding pricing, but let them ask first, or I might just drop it in the chat. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think a lot of the questions I've answered them because they are phrased differently but still boil down to the same thing. Questions about pricing, questions about how to charge. Can you invest in my export company? For now, no. I had a brief stint with taking investors' money last year that didn't end out so good. So I need to put more structure before I can start taking external money. But thank you. I'm actually this is nice. Thank you.
So can I quickly ask this question?
Yes.
So recently I walked into, this was about 3 days ago. That was how I knew about the mayor's visit. So I noticed the yam came in from, the yam was in a carton and it was written products of Ghana.
Ghana.
And then I saw plantain. Plantain was product from Colombia. So I asked the guy, I was like, why don't you people buy stuff from Nigeria? And he was like, the problem is if you buy from Nigerians, would you be able to sell it here? Because Nigeria already has some issues that tend to affect the price of the product by the time it gets here. You understand? And I also noticed that the halal shop, which is the Pakistani guys beside him, which every other Nigerian know here. If you walk into an African store and buy something, and then you walk into the Pakistani guy's shop to buy the same thing, you will see that the Pakistani guys' products are way cheaper than the Nigerian one. So it was him that even told me about the mayor's visit. Could that be the reason why the mayor visited London? I was like, I don't know. So immediately I left the shop. I sort of like went on Google immediately to check, and true, the guy visited recently. The whole essence of the question why I even asked was because I'm actually working on a platform for these goods, So yeah, so that thing about sending stuff to Ghana and all of that, it could add an extra layer of cost to.
Adds to the costing. Even if you're sending for items that you don't have to send through Ghana, by the time you are doing a lot of all these back ends, corruption, yes, we are believers, you understand, but I'm going to tell you the actual truth. We pay bribes. We pay bribes if you need your container to move, like to join a vessel that you have already booked. Everything they claim that everything is online. You do this, you do this. If you don't pay bribes, your container will just sit there. So you have to settle. At the end of the day, this adds up. This adds up to your cost. You understand? So where I'm happy that the mayor came, China as well also did duty free for products from Nigeria and all this. At the end of the day, by the time the government officials look at what they are losing over time, I'm sure they will sit up and make changes. And the current DG of Nigerian Export Council happens to be a woman. The last one also, Dr. Ezra Yakuzak, was very, very proactive. That man did a lot when it comes to ensuring that changes. And I believe that with time, we will start seeing the effect, the multiplier effect. But it's actually true. It's true. So there are things that are cheaper from Nigeria right now, but if there are alternatives from other countries, most times they will be cheaper than what you would get from here in Nigeria. Because you will pay settlement, you pay additional 800,000 here, additional 200,000 here, additional 50,000 here. It all boils down at the end of the day.
So my question. Good evening.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So my question is, please, how do you get access to the community, the WhatsApp group? And secondly, when it comes to exporting, like for example, ginger, sesame seeds, and all of that, do we need to travel to the north to find farmers who plant these crops, or the community will give us, link, and we'll have to pay for, the resources to farmers and suppliers? Thank you.
Okay, so if you are in my community, we have communities and also sister agencies that support exports, and there you get people that are already based in the north. If you need middlemen, or someone to go to the north to source for you. You can also get it done. But also online, there are a lot of these northern based companies that are already online that you can talk to, decide on what you want. If you do not need to visit and you are satisfied, they can send it down to whichever port you want to send from. But majorly, all the exports that leaves Nigeria, particularly by sea, goes through Lagos port. The Port Harcourt one is functional, but it doesn't take a lot of volume. It still has to come to Lagos.
I don't know if I'm the next person to ask question because I've had my hand raised for a while.
Okay.
This question also resonates
Please
with
go ahead. Please go ahead.
This question also resonates with the question that I've been asked in the group chat. Would it be possible to pick a hypothetical product, say cashew nuts, for example, and just do like a simulation or like a step-by-step of how a person would actually export that product from start to finish to actually like apply or make what we've learned so far practical, please?
Okay, that will take a lot of our time and affect others, so we can do that in the community. But if you follow the training from the beginning, you can see that. So if you pick, say, cashew nut, you would have to get a supplier from Kogi or other states that do cashew nuts in bulk, depending on what you want. If you want it to be finished product, the finished cashew nut product, like fried, you decide on whether you want to send it in labels or pouches or normal plastic containers with stickers. But it has to be one that the integrity of the product will not be compromised, meaning it has to be airtight. You get. So are you going to sell to retail customers or you want bulk buyers? If you are doing retail, it has to be finished, like fried, spiced, or salted with individual labelings on it. Then next stage is setting up your online page. You set up your online page, professional pictures. Of course, AI, we have AI now, so AI can sort you out with regards to that. Professionally done pictures, then you run ads for it. If you want to supply people that are going to display it in stores, they may ask for, if you are doing retail, they may ask for a certification, whether you're NAFDAC or FDA, which now means that might affect your timing. But if you are not doing that, you can start without NAFDAC, you can export without NAFDAC, you can export without FDA. Just run ads, have a good pricing, have a good offer. You start getting people who are interested. By the time you get an agreement, because of the most important thing is your supplier. If you have a good supplier with a good price point, you'll be able to compete. The average cost of one bottle of cashew nut right now is between 4,500 naira to 6,000 naira. Even here in Nigeria, in most supermarkets, it will be between 4,500 to 6,500, depending on what it is packed with and the branding or how big that business is. So with your ads that you are running, you start getting people who want to buy. You decide on if you want to send it to them. If you want to send it to them in bulk, so that that person can be your distributor, have that agreement, have everything written out and all. Most people who have distributors over there, they send in bulk to the person and they now start running ads that they have a location in the UK or they have a location in the US. So whoever wants to buy in the UK, they can now price it based on that currency of that country. So it will no longer be 4,500 or 6,500. Those who are buying directly in Nigeria that you deliver to their agent or you deliver to their family, you can be supplying them at that price. Because you are running ads, you are getting more buyers. I do palm oil, and that's how I get a lot of people who buy my palm oil, right? So I'm not saying what I don't do. This is what I do. I get my buyers for 80% of my buyers for palm oil come online, from online. over time, when you have delivered, you can now have referrals from those people, but we still run ads. I might not have a lot of posts on that page, but I've built that page to an extent where people look at that page and they see that this person is legit, this person can deliver, there are reviews and everything, and there is a location they can pick up from. So why I recommend that you have someone, if it's a family friend or a person who you have already agreed with, that will have not so much, but at least more than what can serve 10 to 20 orders that you would have subsequently, is that if you put that you have a distributor or a location in the UK they can pick up from, it gives you more credibility. Do you understand? You now run another ad that is tailored for people already based in the UK with your UK price that is now in pounds. You get? So every order that comes in or every request that comes in can now either be sent to that UK distributor or your website that has the product already in UK. By the time they pay, they check out, and you get their delivery address, it is sent to them. Or if they are picking up, you send the address where they pick up. There are also warehouses or logistics agencies that give storage. You pay for a certain duration, or if you ship with them regularly, they can keep your products with them. Any customer buying goes to them. You would have sent out prior information and they pick up from that logistics company's location in the UK or US for you. Do you understand? So I don't know how else to simplify this that you would understand. From table, from the point of sourcing to that end, you are already getting steady customers who are buying in units. And if you are in the UK, you already have products that people in the UK can buy from you. Do you understand, Precious?
Yes, I do. I mean, I'll just send you a message later, so I won't like disturb others. Thank you.
Okay, so on the course, you also have ad setup guide for how to run some ads for certain locations or destinations. So what to put when you are picking audience, what do you put? How do you run it? How do you put your caption? How do you tailor it generally? There are some things that you need to do. If it is covered in your offer, anybody who sees it will be convinced, and then they pay. Sorry, baby.
Okay, so we will take only 2 more questions because of our time. We've outrun our time, and we also know people have to go to work tomorrow. So we will take 2 final questions and then we'll call it a day. Thank you. So next question, please.
Hi,
Okay, good.
okay, let me ask my question. My hands has been raised up
Okay, go ahead.
forever.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. It was a very broad one. Thank you so much. I want to ask about specifically for UK, what are the necessary documents or registration one needs to be able to export to UK food items and sell in their shops? And where can you get them? Thank you. That's all.
Okay, Adara, did you get them?
Did she get me?
Yes,
I know
I
that
got
FDA goes for America, but I don't know about UK, and I have offers in UK shops.
Okay. So
Yes.
the specifics for the UK market, FDA also covers the UK, though there might be some specifics for certain products that we can find out. Mr. Isaac, I don't know why I'm calling you doctor. Am I calling forth the things that be not as
Maybe
though they were?
PhD. So
Are you
I'll come to your house to get it, no worries.
So he has a book coming. You can pre-order. I
Yeah,
think
I
he
think it's
will
been shared in
fully
the group as
cover
well.
the UK.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's covered in the
already
book as
sorting
well.
that in his book.
Yeah, it's been shared already in the group, so you have access to both the course and the book as well. All of those details are in the book as well. So they are all heavily discounted for a limited time, only for the community group. So yeah.
Please, can I ask my question now? Good evening.
Please go for it.
Go for it.
Okay, so I want to start importing exporting Gary, and I hear that by November Gary will be scarce. So I don't want to know, is it advisable for me to buy and store, and then I start reselling in what do you call it now? I start reselling by November. And also I want to go into palm oil. What capital range do you think it's good enough to start the palm oil business? So it's a two in one question. I just want to ask everything I want. So those are the two questions I wanted to ask.
Okay, Gary. If you want to do Gary, you can buy now. I don't think it will go lower than this. Every year, Gary peaks usually between October to January. So now is a good time to buy. If there are people who I will ask in my community, if there are people who are more knowledgeable about it, if now is a good time to store. I store agro product, but I've not done Gary on a large scale before. If we had spoken earlier on, the time when it was way, way cheaper was around April, around March, April. Gary was kind of cheaper, but now you can still buy because it will still keep going higher. Same thing with palm oil as well. You can buy and keep anytime you are ready to sell, you sell. As at 2 weeks ago, a keg of palm oil was 54,000 naira. Right now is 62, between 62 to 68 for normal keg, 25 liters keg here. So, and then with Gary, you have to be careful. If you are buying for export, you have to get like the best quality. An average 50 kg bag of Gary now, you can get the one that is 38,000 naira. You can get 45,000 naira. You can get, while there are some very good quality, high grade, that is like 75,000 naira per bag. Do you understand? So if you are buying and you are not selling immediately, you have to buy the highest quality because of moisture content, so that it doesn't get black, it doesn't get soggy. Do you understand? So you can come to the DM, we'll discuss more, and I'll give you contacts of people in Ijebu as well as Cotonou. So there are people who do Cotonou Gari that is very, very good for export. There are also people, villages in Ijebu that are known for high quality. But market grade, if you are doing export, don't buy from the open market, except it's someone you have spoken to before and have tested the quality.
Okay, thank you very much. I was also asking about like capital for starting up an oil business. Like what capital range do you think is advisable to start with? But thank you very much for the reply for the career, and I'll definitely come to your DM.
Okay. It depends on your capacity. A keg now is 60 to 70. So with that should guide you on how many kegs you can get. If it is a drum has there are drums of 4 kegs, there are drums of 8 kegs. So whatever you can get, and then you can now break it down into units if you want to be selling retail. If you want to do wholesale and you are doing 25 liters as well, it's up to you. So, but that's the price range now for good oil. Between 60 to 70 will get you a 25 liters keg of oil.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
I know we still have a lot of questions, but our
Yes,
time is
so I've
up.
not asked my own question, please. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ada. Thank you so much. Please. Someone actually introduced me to the group, and I didn't join pretty early, but thank God I finally joined. Thank you. There's a lot of insights from this section. But please, for someone that have not done any form of exportation or has interest to go all the way, okay, I think my major focus now is on dry fish and crayfish. So please, how do I go about it? One, I want to join the community, but for the training and the registration, I'm not financially ready for that. So I asked a question. I said, when is the deadline for registration? I think you didn't get to the question. So these are my questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Am I heard?
Yes. Fish and crayfish. The strategies shared already will still work for crayfish. Just that fish and crayfish, you will do more of air cargo for it. So if you have gotten someone that can be your distributor or your partner over there, you can do a lot of quantity at once, and then from there be selling. to people that are in those locations. Do you understand? Then timeline. If you have not done the business before, I advise that you go to people who are already in the business. If it's all these dry fish and all, they can guide you on how to go about it, how to sell, how to preserve it, because it's sensitive, it's perishable, and it can easily develop ants. Crayfish is easier to manage than dry fish. And if you are exporting dry fish, you have to be very conscious so it doesn't break. If it is those whole round fish, we can discuss better in the DM because time has gone. What else did you ask about? The
Thank you. I've
cost.
not done the business before and I don't have anybody there.
Are you in the UK or you are in Nigeria?
I'm in Nigeria, in
Okay, then
Lagos
get
specifically.
a good supplier. Get a good supplier. If you have a good supplier, they will also guide you on what to do. If you buy it, what should you do? What shouldn't you do? I've done stockfish business before and I lost money. I bought stockfish, it developed all these ants. By the time we got to buyers abroad, it was nothing to write about. I made refund, even for the ones in Nigeria too. So I've learned from it. But dry fish, all these catfish, I know I've not done it before. So I don't think I'm in a good position to really guide you in depth on fish business. You understand? But when it comes to the export, I can guide on how to pack it, how to ensure it doesn't break, what to do with regards to sealing it and all. You might need to get a vacuum sealing machine, then your normal pouches. Then if you are exporting it, they should use styrofoam boxes. Those boxes they use to import fragile materials, they will put it there for you and they write fragile on it so that it's not tampered with. It gets to the customer very neat and without any spoilage. Export costs you can pay at any time, but the discount is for the subsidized amount is for people who take action within 24 hours. They will get it for 20,000 naira instead of 50,000 naira.
Sorry, ma. I just wanted to remind you about the platforms to get prices on this.
Yes, we'll discuss that in the community. I'm also in the community.
Please, you will still consider us for this 24 hours stuff.
Okay.
Honestly, because there are other things on ground that needs to be taken care of financially. Thank you.
Sorry, I checked the link and it's saying 25,000, not 20,000. Can you please help check it again? Thank you.
Okay, I will.
Okay, guys. This is where we'll draw the curtain for tonight. Thank you very, very. This has been an incredibly amazing, beyond expectation, actually, session. And again, like I always say,
Should be thanking you. You should be thanking you for this. Thank you very much too.
you're welcome. Thank you, first of all, to Adora for your wealth of knowledge. And of course, going into details, the insightful questions. Thank you to everyone that joined as well. Thank you for your passion. It's one thing to really want a better future, it's another thing to take action towards bringing it to pass. The fact that you were here today shows that, it only gets better, right? And like I always say, it is not what we learn that really matters. It's good to learn, but knowledge alone is actually not power like we always claim. It is applied knowledge that gives power. We don't rise by just learning, we rise by doing. So the biggest, of course, we know we've organized this session, we invested a lot in this session, by the way, to ensure that we all partake in it for free, right? The biggest reward you can give us, and by us, I mean myself, the team, Adora, and everyone who has been a part of this. There's a lot of back-end work that went into this. And I also want to say a huge thank you to the entire team. Mr. Legend, Taiwo, Wale, the entire team, amazing guys. Thank you so much for all that you've done to make this happen. So essentially, we will be closing the session tonight. However, if you're part of the community, and of course, a huge thank you to Adora again for your wealth of knowledge. Thank you very much. So if you're a part of the community, Well, what we are building is very special. It's very different. It's very unique. It's never been done before, by the way. We want to build a community, an army of financial champions in Africa, for real, right? So in this our community, we will be studying a book on a monthly basis. It's completely free, right? And I will be jumping on a monthly session with everybody. At times I would bring in an expert on a particular topic we're talking about for that month. When I say expert, I don't mean someone who has written a book or don't know. I mean someone who is already living that thing, right? Because success is very simple. There is nothing cumbersome or difficult about success. Success is simply the achievement of a set goal. And how do you achieve success? Very simple. Simply find someone who has done that thing before. Learn from that person painstakingly, right? And replicate exactly what they've done. If you had your uniqueness to it, in most cases, you would even do better than them. That's the truth. I've seen it happen in my life. And that is basically what we're bringing into that community. So on a monthly basis, there will be a book that we would share. We will not only share the book, we'll also share where you can get it, maybe on Amazon or whatever it is. But that group is a group for strictly doers. So if you are not a doer, there will be certain things that we'll be asking you to do. If you do them, of course, fantastic. But we do not want to mix. Of course, association is very powerful. In fact, there are only two things. If you do two things, and you don't do anything else in life, you'll be fine. The people you associate with in communities like this, and the books that you read. If you can pay close attention to those two things, you'll be made for life. So that group is actually an asset for us to come together, to be responsible together, to learn together, to grow together, and to create wealth together. Why are we creating wealth? Is it because we are creating about money? No, it's simply because what changes nation? Yes, it's okay to blame Tinubu and all of those things, and that's fine. It's very important to take them to account. However, when you go to the most developed countries, what really changes nations is not only politics, it is actually entrepreneurs. People choosing and picking specific problems and finding the best, most ingenious ways to solve them. Everyone here, you have incredible potential, incredible capacity, gifts, skills. There are certain things I will never be able to do that everyone here can do. So imagine picking that one thing that God has blessed you with and giving it your all. That is why we created this group, to serve as a resource. If you don't find anything anywhere, you will always find a book that we're reading. As long as, and this is a promise, as long as you do everything that we are saying, that is being said, is being instructed in that group, you join the monthly call. All you need to do is give yourself a space of 3 to 6 months. You will see a significant change, not just in your life, but in your finances, because that group is basically focused on raising financial giants, right? So, and that is why it is not for everybody. It is only for doers. So once again, thank you very much for being here. It was amazing spending tonight with you, and we would keep the conversation going. If you have more questions that have not been answered as well, yeah. So for those of us whose questions have not been answered, here's what you should do. Please type it properly as a text and then drop it in the group. So Adora will create some time. If she can't answer them fully tonight, she'll create some time to answer them tomorrow or in the coming week, so we can take on that conversation in the community. All right. So thank you very much, guys, and have a beautiful, beautiful night and an amazing rest of the week. Cheers. Thank you, Adora. Thank you, guys. Bye for now.
Isaac, how do we join the group?
Oh, the group. Okay. Let me see. Taiwo, are you there? If you're there, please drop the link for the group in the just a minute. Let me see if I can quickly drop that before we end the call. Okay, I found it.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, please drop the community link in the Zoom chat, please.
Sorry, sir. Is it the same link that was attached to the mail sent to us?
Yes, please. That's
Okay.
WhatsApp link. Yeah, that is.
Okay, thanks.
But once we are packed, we might have to create a channel. But for now, that's the link. Okay, so it's been shared. Please save it somewhere because we're gonna end this call shortly. And once we end the call, everything disappears. So feel free to copy the link, and then I will see you on the inside. Have a beautiful night. Cheers.